If you are not fishing in Palworld, you are missing out. Let's get into it here on Austin John Gaming. I am going to be going over the advantages of fishing in the early game for a good majority of this video. I'm also going to be talking about some of the pals who are super useful for that early game fishing journey that you're doing, and then I'm going to be talking about late game fishing. So if you are past the early game and you're just interested in the late game stuff, there's chapters down below for a reason. Cool. As soon as you hit level 15, you want to buy the beginner fishing rod. And then as soon as you hit level 29, you want the intermediate one. The intermediate one gives you better performance and making catches a bit easier. Bait is super simple to craft. All you need is flour, berries, and aquatic pal fluids. Throw a kelp seed inside of your ranch and then you have infinite pal fluids. The uncommon one requires you to have tomato infrastructure set up already, so you may not have that ready to go, but while you're fishing, you're probably getting bait. In fact, while you're exploring through the entire game, you're probably getting all three types of bait. Simple, deluxe, and then in the end game, you're getting the alluring bait. You're getting all the bait. Now, when I say fishing, I don't specifically mean that you're trying to catch a fish, despite the name, but it also includes salvaging. Salvaging lets you just get free stuff while on the water, and at high levels, it's actually required for you to get one specific ore called corallium, and that's often associated with level 62 powerful fishing magnet, but that's a later thing. You can fish from land, you can fish from a flying pal, you can fish from pretty much any time that you could use your hands in the water or near the water, you can fish, but salvaging requires you to be on top of an aquatic pal mount. When looking at all of the water mounts in the game sorted by swim speed, because gotta go fast, you have a legendary pal, and then you have Chillet, who you get at the beginning of the game. The only thing is Chillet is not a water type pal. He is ice and dragon, so you can't fish from his back. Gangler and Gangler Ignis in particularly is honestly my favorite pal for this, but he does require level 42 technology. Gangler is 31, so that's an option, but both of those require us to fish already or be in a very high level area. We'll get there. So unfortunately, when you start off the game, you have to use Serpent, who's not fast at all. Luckily, Serpent is not hard to get. I am building my base here where there's a lot of iron, so I'm gonna head on over to right here inside of this little bay, ravine, creek, shoal, one of those words, is where Serpent are commonly found, so I'm just gonna head on over there. And I want to go pretty much straight west, so let's just go ahead and use our glider. Right now, I'm paragliding. You'll see that it's yellow and black, and that's because of a pal in my party who we're going to talk about fishing for. I coasted my way on over to where they like to hang out, and oh, they're not a high level at all. Okay, so this is going to be very easy to do. 61% catch rate. I'm not, oh, he broke out of 61. That's fine. We're going to get him. Don't worry. With our newly found fishing friend, Serpent, he is going to be how we can get salvage on the water. Let's go ahead and buy his saddle. So we have our Serpent, we have our fishing rod, and we have some very basic bait. We are all set to start setting up our better fishing team. The very first pal we're going to get is Gillette. Gillette makes it so that anytime that it's in your party, you obtain more items from fishing. So we're getting them first. So first, I'm going back to the Hill of Beginnings, and I'm just flying out into the ocean, and we're gonna go to Sunlit Isle, which is fantastic for oil, because there's two different places that there are 3 oil nodes. You can even just see it on this map right here. So let's go ahead, use our grappling hook, and coast out into the water. But right here, we have a salvage pile. So hop on top of our fish, and we salvage. And this is just a simple mini game. Just have to hit F or your corresponding thing. I got 2,500 coins for doing nothing, really. I just hit F one time. F to get money. Well, that sounds weird. We salvaged up some bait at least. I should pull up the salvage rank table. I'm only going to point out the ones that are useful. Hyperspheres are nice to get early. Advanced technical manuals and ancient technical manuals. Rubies are always fantastic. Some amount of coins. Gigasphere. Pal Reverser, going to save you a lot of money and resources in the end game. A small amount of corallium ore and some dog coins. That's pretty much it. These early game salvage spots can have some nice items. It's not the most necessary. Salvaging becomes very powerful later on. And this is what fish sound like. By the way, anytime that you have a special fish, they're gonna have a glistening effect, and you may see a glistening effect with a light. Those are the ones to go after. But right now, I want you to just kind of focus on the sound that you're hearing. That weird glistening sound that you're hearing is the fishing spot. It's different from hearing a lucky out in the world. So before I go fishing at a location and try to go for one of these glistening ones, I always try to fish a regular one just to see what I'm in for. Know what I mean? Sort of like prepare myself. So this minigame, all you have to do is just click and make sure that the fish meter is inside of the fish bar. If you played Stardew Valley, it's pretty much a 1-for-1. Here we got ourselves a Kelpsie. Kelpsie drops aquatic pal fluid when inside of a ranch. Fantastic pal to have throughout the entire game. Also, for the record, you don't need to actually be on your fishing pal in order to fish. If you can stand, you can fish. So now I'm going for the one that's glistening because I got that one without really any issue. And we got a pangullet. Now that little glistening thing lets you know that they're going to be having a rainbow passive. This one is light-footed, which I think means that they can double jump while mounted. Obviously, it's useless on pangullet because you don't mount pangullet, pangullet mounts you. Also sounds weird, but that could be a very useful skill for us to use for breeding. I made a whole guide on breeding. I'm not going to really be talking about it in this video. And over here, we have a purple glistening pal. Let's go ahead and fish them up. These ones can be a little bit more difficult. I really think it depends more on the fishing spot. Oh, look at that. He did a quick jerk down. Here's Gillette.
It's amazing how much you don't read a pal's name until you have to say it out loud. While editing, I now know that this pal is called Joliet. If I say Gillette like the razor throughout this video, just know that I now know how to say it. And henceforth, it shall be Joliet.
So the purple glistening means that they're going to be having the Whopper trait. But this is considered an alpha, so we get precious entrails, which sell for a butt ton of money. Whopper gives you a small increase to water and ice attacks, and then a small increase to defense. It's okay. It's an okay thing to have on a water pal, but we want to look at Gillette's partner skill. While in the party, obtained items from fishing by 55%. Well, guess what we're doing in this video? We're fishing. That's the reason we went there first. Put Gillette on the team. Next, let's go get a celery. So right where Pen King is located, if we go to that fast travel point, we can easily access the ocean right there. Just north of the oil rig at this exact location right here. So here's the oil rig, level 30. You're not going to get into any conflict. You could still do this at level 15. While you're over here, this guy, this little manta ray looking fella, this is a beginner fishing level spot. Go ahead and fish him up. Very simple fishing to do here. Nice and easy. Celery Lux, level 22. Oh, and we got 2 sapphires from that. That's money. The reason we have Celery Lux in our party is because they're a water and electric type. Water and electric is a great combination. This Pen King Lux, maybe one other pal shares this typing in the entire game, but by having a fire type and a water electric type, we can open all 3 types of elemental chests that we're going to be encountering on our islands. But wait, there's more about Celery. That's the reason it may be in your party for a long period of time. It also gives you an enhanced glider that prevents all fall damage as long as it's in your party, and it makes your glider better. So without Celery in my party, I'm just gonna hop on top of this box and glide forward. I land right there, not very far. With Celery in the party, that's a huge difference. If you've ever thought the glider was underwhelming in this game, it's just because you don't have a Celery. There is a different pal you're probably going to replace it for later on, but for the early game, 10 out of 10 recommend. On the Sunlit Isle that we just went to is where we're going to be able to find these elemental chests. Just take your Celery Lux for all of the water and electric chests, send them out right in front, opening it up. Dog coins, 20 electric organs, and some experience manuals. From here, the island to the south is kind of deadly, but there are some great fishing spots around it. Also, the fast travel point is on top of a very large mountain, so if you can hang with level 40, go get it. I, however, am going to be swimming northeast to the Isle of Decayed Treasures for our next pal that we want to get. Probably a great time to remind you that I know on keyboard it's X. I don't know what it is on controller. Is auto walk / run / swim. So I could just do this. Here at the Isle of Decayed Treasures, there's actually 2 pals that we want to get from here. The first one showed up right away, and because it's nighttime, it's going to be a nice, easy capture for us. Let's take out Dire Howl, make sure Ring of Mercy is equipped. Level 2 spheres, and I'm going to do a lightning streak. Hopefully get 2 of them at once. We did. Tentacle makes it so that while he's in your party, it reduces the weight of ore by 80%. I would like to note that this is specifically just regular copper ore that makes regular copper ingots. This is not for the additional ores in the game. There are 2 different pals that give you that ability. Get the fast travel point. Let's go get these elemental chests. And on this island is another pal that we're looking for, who is right there. Yep, that's Gloopy. Let's catch the second one as well. Gloopy, the capture gauge decreases 12% more slowly while the bars are not overlapping during the fishing minigame. So anytime that it's not inside of the bar, it's getting away less. It makes fishing easier. So now we have our surfing pal, we have our fishing pal, we have our electric water type, and we have Gloopy. Now's a great time for you to actually set up your party presets. Go ahead, set that up, rename it. Okay, there's 2 more pals I want to get. This entire time that we're out here, we're always fishing up these glowing spots. I'm pretty much not fishing up the fish that are not the glowing spots. Now, anytime the fish isn't inside of the bar drops slower. It's not that much. It's only once you start condensing these pals do you really start to see big differences. Oh, I salvaged up my first Corallum ore that I'm going to need in 40 levels. The following island just east of here, the Isle of Circular Ruins. The only pals here are Nightmare Botan, who is a peaceful pal. And here there's a lot of gold chests that you could get some really nice early game loot. Some Ultra Spheres, very handy stuff. And of course, unlocking fast travel points along the way. Moving right past that isle, one of the places that I actually wanted to come visit is right up here, the Flame Pulse Islet. This location does have some very spicy fishing spots. It also has some extremely hostile pals, as those fire types tend to be. But the thing that we're really after here are the fishing spots. This is a great example of before I start with the glistening pal, I want to start with just like the basic ones because this is an advanced fishing spot. So fishing here is going to be harder. See how fast that drop was? Oh, we got a Scutlass Ingus. They transform into a sword. I guess they technically transform into a cutlass, hence the name. You know, if you want to be a pirate or whatever. Yeah, there we go. Gangler Ignis, one of my favorite pals in the game. This dude has amazing stats for, oh, I'm in a combat. No, thank you. I would like to not do a combat right now for 2 reasons. 1, I would die. 2, he scares away the fishes. But Gangler Ignis, he is the fastest water mount outside of legendaries, and for every water or fire pal in the party, he gets faster. So he's a fantastic ride pal. Work suitability, kindling is level 5, watering is level 5. He's gonna make all of your ingots for you, water all of your crops for you, and then when he's done, he's gonna move stuff around for you. Fantastic pal to have at your base. I used to rush to the mountains and do Blaze-a-Mutt, but I think this is better, or at least complementing to that. Oh, he did scare away the fishies. Plus, we're catching them at like level 50. As soon as you catch it, they are just ready to go on the team. Here's a nice private spot. No baddies. They're just rocks. They're fine. Oh, that's the salvage that requires it. Ooh, we have our first light spike. Okay. So this is an expert fishing spot. I need my best bait for it because I don't have the legendary rod yet. You could also fish up the legendary rod, but that's a later thing. You know what? I thought he'd be harder. Honestly, thought he'd be harder. Oh, it's a Finster Ignis. He's a whopper. Okay, but you know what? I'm ready to go. Let's do our first big ol' light spike. Now's also a pretty great time to mention that if you don't enjoy the fishing minigame and you're playing on PC, there is a Steam workshop mod that just skips the entire game. Instead, your bar is bigger than the actual play bar, so you're never going to not catch it, if that's more your thing. Well, anyways, the light spike got us a lunker. Lunker is like Whopper, but better. I wanted to give you guys a glance as to what it looks like when you're in the end game and you're doing fishing, because yes, it is still a great way to get things in the game. So your Gangler is going to be less useful, but you're going to have a whole bunch of passives on there that make him so fast that it's pretty much the fastest way to get around until you're like super specifically breeding awakened pals like this Hydrolon over here. Gillette, when it's fully upgraded, the items obtained from fishing is increased to 95%, so almost all of the time you're getting double drops. This is exceptionally useful for two different instances. One, in the Sky Islands, there's only a few fishing spots, and this is one of the various ways for you to get the legendary Ancient Helm, which is the best headwear in the game, you know, meaning like highest durability and stuff. If you ask me, the best headwear is the Depresso head. And also fishing inside of the World Tree. Anywhere that you're seeing these large bodies of water, there's more times than not a lot of fish. Like I marked just a few of them down here. You have a high likelihood of getting the schematics for the Ancient Armor, regular, heat resistant, cold resistant, and lightweight. And getting two of the schematics at the same time and then using the blueprint board to draw them up to a better grade makes it so you have a higher and higher likelihood of achieving the legendary quality. I enjoy fishing. So far, I'm at an epic on the cold resistance, an epic on the heat resistance, and 2 epics on the light. This complements all the expeditions that you're doing for the ancient relics that you're then recycling. Gloopy, fully maxed out. Capture bar decreases 35% more slowly, which is very helpful. Well, Alaska, when it's fully upgraded, the fishing minigame starts at an additional 14%. Additionally, while the bars overlap, your progression is increased by 14%. That may not sound like a lot, but when you're in the World Tree and you're doing these Grandmaster fishing spots, it is hard. To give you an idea of what the Grandmaster fishing spot is like, here we are in the World Tree. This is the highest level of fishing that there is. And the pals can be very spontaneous. Like if my bar wasn't this incredibly large and all of these buffs, you best believe we would immediately be losing. How quickly it decides to jump from one side of it to the other and we simply cannot actually get there fast enough? Huge. Huge. What are the drops? Look at that. That's so much Corallium. Precious entrails, some water radiant gems, all useful items. This is also the legendary Depresso fishing rod that you can only get the schematic from, I believe, from fishing. Yes, 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 yes. Stay there. Stay there. We got this. Oh. Yeah, we got it. But the loot? 2 ancient technical manuals, 19, 12, and 5 ancient relics. Crazy loot. Okay, we also have an honorable mention for 3 pals. So we have the Turticle, who gives you a reduction in ore weight, but then after learning that that doesn't cover all ores, instead I went ahead and condensed myself a Reptiro Christ, who decreases the weight of all ore by 65%, and a regular one, who decreases it by 50%. Ore weighs nothing. So as you're fishing up all of this Corallium, you could do that no problem. Also, these 2 pals in your party are very useful if you're in the same mentality as me, that like if I need a whole bunch of coal, I'll just fly out to the volcano, mine up a bunch of coal, and then fly back. Well, now I can mine up an infinite amount of coal because it weighs nothing. Another honorable mention is Gelroy, who I didn't even fully condense this one. Items increased obtained from salvaging increased to 65%. This makes it so when you're in the phase of the game around level 60 to 65 and you're gathering Corallium from the ocean with the high-powered magnets, you're going to be getting more Corallium at the same time, so it makes life easier. Also, I might as well mention that it's a fantastic way to get the pal reversers, the thing that allows you to change the gender of a pal. That is some very desirable loot. Unfortunately, when you're at that point, like level 64, 65, and you're getting the cold resistant hexalite armor, you know, that it's super cool and all, but then you're a stone's throw away from going to the ancient furnace. and that just requires a few additional pieces for you to make the solarite ingots. Nothing is stopping you from just flying up there and getting the solarite, which then immediately gives you ancient armor, which is like a 20% boost. So a basic ancient armor has a defense of 800, and when fishing outside of Faybreak, you're going to be getting yourself the cold resistant hexalite armor. Epic cold resistant hexalite armor is only a defense of 720. The basic is 696. So if you happen to get the epic version of this armor in like 3 levels for going and hitting a rock a few times, you're getting a defense of 800 and the material cost is less. Unfortunately, the hexalite armor is almost completely obsolete, which is one of the biggest rewards from doing salvaging throughout this entire part of the game. So that's unfortunate. Guys, I hope this information on how to do fishing in the early game for a huge advantage and the stuff that you should be looking at for the late game was helpful to a wide array of audience. Thank you so much for being here. If you found it helpful, hit the thumbs up. Until next time, Austin John out.